Hey guys, how we doing? Cliff Lewis with Cliff Lewis Experience here in the Lehigh Valley. Back once again for another Cliff Lewis Eats. Today we're at one of my favorite places, the Mint in downtown Bethlehem. I'm talking with Chef Dom. Chef, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So give us a little bit of background. Tell us about the Mint, where we're at, kind of what we got going on.
Well, the Mint kind of happened on accident. About 9 years ago here on the west side of Bethlehem. Little known fact, my father started here on the west side 42 years ago with his first pizza shop on 2nd Avenue. We always love the west side. And the property falls in your lap and you see it. And I didn't even live in Pennsylvania at the time. I lived in Arizona. My dad called me, told me about it. When I was 8, I had told him once, man, I think a bank would make a great restaurant. And of course he remembered. Guess what I bought? You know, so I was like, anything to get me back. So I ended up did move back, and then this kind of came to be. And the whole premise is with my travels and being in culinary and getting to see a lot more. I wanted to bring just a different vibe to the valley. Everything it already had a lot of like wonderful things, but I wanted to bring color, vibrance, I wanted to stir the pot a little bit. There were people who had done that before me here in the valley, starting with my dad, 36 years ago at Stefano's restaurant, and then, Apollo and all those other guys. They led the way, and it was like, all right, it's time for another generation to do the same thing. The neighborhood embraced me amazingly, and here we are 9 years later.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and of course we met from Meet Your Friend Who Lives Around the Corner. Who that's obviously now I've been coming here probably for about 8 or 9 years myself. So yeah, it's great food. So we're in an old bank building. Yep. Tell us a little bit about how it is and how you kind of retrofitted it. And
so in another weird circumstance, right? I actually went to school for architecture originally.
Oh, okay.
And I always loved this bank. And this is the first bank my dad ever came to for a loan to open in the Lehigh Valley, which they denied him. And 30 years later, to the month, he bought that building.
There you go.
So in 1955, this bank was built. It's got a lot of history. It was one of the first banks that the Bethlehem Steel built for themselves. I think the last thing it was a Bank of America. Just sat empty for a while. And here was this gorgeous 1955 postmodern, really well thought out building just sitting here. And we were like, we should do something with it. And I was right. Turning a bank into a restaurant is pretty cool. Like I said, we wanted to bring color and vibrance and light and just a different version of another dining scene that people could enjoy here in the valley.
And I think the vault was obviously a crowd favorite. So you converted the vault to the liquor storage.
Yep, yeah. Well, it was, what do you do with a door that weighs as much as a truck?
Right.
A lot of people like put dining areas inside there or something like that, and we entertained a bunch of ideas, but truth be told, the expenses were adding up. We needed liquor storage. So now you get to see the inner workings of a vault, you get to see the safe deposit box, we have the liquor locked away in the back part, and it just became another really cool little spot.
So obviously we're going post-COVID.
Yeah.
Hard time, of course, for everyone in the restaurant business. How are you adapting? How are you changing? How are things going?
It's been, for everyone, a really rough go. But the adaptation part of it, I think we've all embraced and done as an industry, done our best to make sure that we show that hospitality included,
right?
Making sure people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And making sure that you, the guests, are okay to the best of our ability in these walls, because we're going to do everything we can. We whittled down the menu and made it a little more familiar, a little more comfortable, way more takeout friendly.
Sure.
There are some quintessential things that have always kind of been around on our menu in one shape or form. The bank burger.
Sure.
It's it's
one
a staple.
Of my favorites, by the way. Absolutely.
It's a staple of the restaurant. Not because I invented the burger. I just try to do my best to make a great burger.
And it's amazing. If you haven't tried it, highly recommend it. I get the same thing every time I come. That's it.
Yeah, I don't hate them for it either. I love them for it. Right now, this week, like I wanted to do a spin on the Philly cheesesteak to Philly represent. Right,
Sure.
They're going through a real bad time.
Yeah.
So I did like whiz wit tacos,
Nice.
So Philly style steak meat,
Nice.
Taco shells, and all the accoutrement, but it's in a taco form. Tempura shrimp appetizer, some salads. We have something I call it the Hidden Valley salad.
Okay.
In lieu of both the fact that we're making our own ranch dressing and that we live in the valley and the valley loves its ranch dressing.
Right.
We just got done doing like a pork nachos. We're cutting and cooking our own blue corn nachos, topping it with fried sous vide pork belly, some shredded Mexican style cheeses, and then I made a pumpkin seed sauce, play on that Mexican flavor set.
I think that sums up this restaurant perfectly. In my opinion, you get that comfort food to another level. So you get those same classics that you want and you're looking for, but hey, this is way more interesting now because instead of, even the tater tots are kicked up a notch.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one of the best things. If you guys have not checked out the Mint, you definitely have to get out here, stop out. I always get the bank burger, but it sounds like there's some other good stuff that maybe I'll have to try. Can't promise anything, but definitely have
We'll just send it out.
Yeah, just order a whole bunch, and then you can kind of pick and choose which ones you like,
right.
and kind of pick your favorites. Yeah, it's definitely a hard time in restaurants. I feel like have had to bear one of the biggest brunts, through the shutdowns, through all the stuff that's changing. So I can't imagine and I feel like it's a never-ending change when you kind of get in one spot.
Right.
They rolled you out into green and they've kind of pulled you back. So I can imagine it's hard to keep up.
It's been a seesaw.
Yeah.
It's been very difficult. I'm a very fortunate person. I'm very grateful for everything that I have, everything that I've had, and everything that I will have. And I'm grateful for the people who have always embraced us. We've had people who have literally ordered at least once a week, every week that this has occurred.
That's awesome.
And that's that's a humbling experience. And it speaks measures to the community and how people are reacting to this. And so we honor that by continuing to forge forward and fight and do what we can to make sure that we can make that available for the people who want to do that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, it's sad to see so many establishments closing, favorite restaurants throughout the Lehigh Valley area, just in general. So, hopefully we're through the worst of it now and things start looking up.
I try to take the approach, and I'm trying to tell my kids the same thing. If you can come out of this breaking even or on top, there's literally nothing left for you to be worried about. You literally have done it. You've figured it out. You fought through it.
Yeah.
Keep pushing forward, because if we sit up all night wondering about what the next worst thing is going to be, we're never going to live today.
I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us today.
Great. Yeah,
no,
thanks.
Us too. As always, we're going to do our best to support the Mint. So we're going to go ahead and buy a bunch of gift cards. If you guys can like, share, and comment on this post. And when he does that, Dan behind the camera will be sending this out. So our best wishes to you guys throughout this craziness. And thanks so much for taking some time to talk to us.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All of you too.
Yeah, thank you.